वेलकम टू आवर यूट्यूब चैनल मैथमेटिकल पाठशाला। आज के इस लेक्चर में हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे मॉडर्न अलजेब्रा का कंप्लीट सॉल्यूशन जो कि गेट 2020 में पूछा गया था। इन दैट सेशन दे हैव आस्क्ड टोटल 6 क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम दिस सेक्शन। लेट मी टेल यू हाउ मेनी क्वेश्चंस आर फ्रॉम ग्रुप थ्योरी and from ring theory and from field theory. Two questions are from field theory and two questions are from group theory and 2 questions are from ring theory. Okay, let us begin with the problem number 1. Question number 1, this is based on the permutation group Sn. Every time they ask one question from this permutation group. The number of elements of order 3 in the symmetric group S6. So they are asking number of elements of order 3 in S6. S6 is the group of all 1, 1 and 2 functions defined on 6 symbols. 6 symbols you can choose either A, B, C, D, E, F, or you can choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Generally I work with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to find the number of elements of order 3. How the order 3 element looks like? Either you can choose the partition 1, 1, 1. 1 second, let me change the chalk. Either you choose 1, 1, 1, 3. Either you choose this cycle decomposition, because this cycle decomposition will give you LCM of 1, 1, 1, 3 will give you 3. So this will generate an element of order 3. For example, you can see in this way 1, 2, 3 and rest 3 symbols are fixed. That means you can write in this manner 4, 5, so 6. This is one example of this cycle decomposition. Next may be like 3, 3 because the sum should be 6. For example, this element will look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you know the formula for counting, then you can find it directly. But if you do not know the formula, you can use your combinatorics, which you have learned in your graduation or in schooling. So we need to count these type of elements. Let us count first these type of elements. For this type of element, what you need? You need 3 cycles, because this is a 3 cycle and rest are fixed. So you need to work with the 3 cycles. So how you will count 3 cycles? You have 6 symbols already. You can choose 3 symbols randomly and you can generate these 3 cycles. But how many distinct type of 3 cycles are there? Because these are the number of 3 cycles, but you need to find a distinct 3 cycles. For distinct, suppose this 4, 5, 6, this is a 3 cycle. But out of these 3 symbols, how can you generate distinct types? Suppose I am fixing 4. So you change the position of 5 and 6. So you will, suppose you have fixed 4 and you are changing the position of 5 and 6. So you can do this, and this is the only possible way. So how I am doing this? Suppose you have fixed one element and you are free to move any 2 elements. So for these 2 elements you have factorial 2 choices. If there is any R cycle, then you will fix any one element and move any other element. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. Suppose I am working with 4 cycle. So you fix your 2. This 2 is fixed. Now you can move 1, 3, 4. Anyone you move, you will get a new element every time. Suppose you have moved this, you are getting a new element. Suppose you have moved 1. So this is a new element. So fix 1 and move any other element. So for moving rest 4 minus 1 elements, you have 4 minus 1 factorial choices. So you are having here 3 minus 1 distinct 3 cycles. So this will give you total number of 3 cycles. And on rest, you do not need to work. So how many elements are there? You can count. There will be 6 factorial upon 3 factorial into 2. So 3 factorial you can write 3 into 2. So this 2, okay, let me write explicitly. 6 into 5 into 4 into 2, and this is 3 into 2. So you will have this. So this will get cancelled out. This will give you 2 So this will give you 40 elements of such form. If you go with the formula that you know 1 power alpha, 2 power alpha, 3 power alpha, that you can also use. The formula will give you like this: 6 factorial upon 1 to the power 3, because there are 1 cycles 3, 3 power 1 and into 3 factorial. If you use this, you will get same answer. But this is the more general way. Now let us count this type of elements. For this type of elements, what you need? You have 6 symbols. And out of 6, you have to choose first 3. And then from remaining 3, you have to choose rest 3. So the total choice is, first you have 6, you are choosing 3. So this is a symbol for combinations, 6 choose 3. But then you are having 3 more elements, because you cannot work with this, because you have to work with other 3 elements also. So out of 3 elements, you will choose again 3 elements. But from these 3, you can generate distinct of 3 cycles. So that will be 3 minus 1 factorial. And for these 3 cycles, you are having again 3 minus 1 factorial choices. But actually this is not the correct answer. You have to divide with factorial 2 also. Why I am dividing with it, you will get very soon. Let us count with this. Count this first. 6 choose 3. So I can write 6 into 5 into 4 divided with 3. This is 2 into 2, because 3 choose 3 will be 1. So this will give you, okay, this should be factorial 3. 1 second. 2 into 2, this one, this is 2 factorial, and this is 3 factorial, 3 factorial. So from this 3 factorial, you can cancel out this 6 completely. Now you are having this. Okay, 1 second. Let me write explicitly. This will be 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 factorial. Here you will have 3 factorial into 2. So this 3 factorial will cancel out with this 3, this 3 will get cancelled out with this 3, and this 2 will get cancelled out with, we are having 2 2's. So this 2 will get cancelled out with this 2. So you will be having 5 into 4 into 2. So the elements will be 40. Now let us observe why I have divided with 2 factorial. Because suppose you are writing this element 1 2 3. Suppose this you have fixed from this choice, and another 3 elements will be fixed by this choice. So you can write 4 5 6. But there is a chance that you are choosing 3 elements from for this section, you are getting this one. So there is a chance you will get this element. This permutation is from this choice and this permutation is from this choice, because you are choosing the randomly 3 elements. So these 2 elements are not new elements, these 2 are same. So every time you will coincide with these 2 such 2 elements. So you have actually counted the double elements. That is why you are dividing with 2 factorial. So if you do not divide with this 2 factorial, your answer will be false. This is not for particularly this SN, but this is for in general counting section. So you will have 40 elements of this type, 40 elements of this type. So you will have total 80 elements of order 3. Or you can find with the formula also that I have counted from here. You can also use this formula. But this formula is based on in general technique. Question number 2. Let F be a field with 4096 element. So order of field is 4096. You can think in this manner, because you know that 2 power 5 is 32, 2 power 6 is 64, and here you are having a 6 unit digit. So you can see this is 2 power 6 and then 2 power 6. Because 64 into 64, you will get 4096. So this is 2 power 12 actually. The number of proper subfields of F is. So you need to count number of proper subfields. अगर आपने proper word miss करा, so your answer will be false. Let me write one statement. This is based on finite field. If order of F is p to the power k, let F prime be a subfield of F, then order of F prime will be P power T, where T divides K, where P is a prime and K is some natural number, and same here T is some natural number. And conversely also, for any divisor of 12, say T is a divisor of 12, or in general say T is a divisor of K, then it must have a subfield of order P power T. So this is a basic theory I am using from finite field. The proof is basic, you can do by yourself, or if you have any standard book of field theory, you will get a proof for finite fields. So how many subfields are possible for this? The possible order of subfield will be 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4, 2 power 6, 2 power 12, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, these are the possible divisors of 12. Now once you have this, but you do not need to count the you need to count the proper subfield, so you can remove the improper case. This will give you field itself. So you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subfields which are proper. So answer will be 5 for this. Question number 3. Let Z2 to 5 be the ring of integers modulo 2 to 5 if X is the number of prime ideals and Y is the number of non-trivial units in Z2 to 5, then X plus Y is equal to. So you need to count number of units and number of prime ideals in Z2 to 5. See, if in general you need to count the number of prime ideals in Zn, you know the criteria. You can use basic idea. The basic idea, you just write the prime factorization of n. Suppose n can be written as some p1 power alpha 1, p2 power alpha 2 and some pk power alpha k. This is a prime factorization where p1, p2, pk are distinct primes. And you know that in Zn every subgroup will be an ideal. Every subgroup will be an ideal. So here you observe, if you choose ideal generated by any pi, that will be a maximal ideal. But if you choose pi to the power something which is other than 1, that will be contained in this ideal. So this ideal is a maximal ideal for each I. So आपके पास जितने भी distinct prime divisors होंगे उतने ही आपके पास maximal ideals होंगे. This ideal will not be contained in any other proper ideal. This will be only contained in whole your Zn. For example, if you see Z2 to 5, you can write the prime factorization. It will be 3 square into 5 square. Then you choose ideal generated by 3 and ideal generated by 5. These two are maximal ideals. These are not contained in any other proper ideal. These are only contained in either in itself or in ring itself. So these two are maximal ideals. And in a commutative ring with unity, every maximal ideal is a prime ideal. That you know. So this is a maximal, so you can say Zn by ideal generated by Pi is a field. This quotient structure will be field because this is your commutative ring with unity, this is a maximal ideal. So this quotient will be a field. But if this is a field, then this will also be an integral domain because every field is an integral domain, and your Zn by Pi will be an integral domain, so your ideal generated by Pi will be a prime ideal. So that will be a prime ideal. But this is not a new thing I am saying. I have already told you that every maximal ideal is a prime ideal in a commutative ring with unity. Now converse is also true here, because if you choose any prime ideal, suppose you choose any prime ideal, say P be any prime ideal, Zn is a finite commutative ring with unity, this P will be any ideal, but this quotient structure will be a finite integral domain because P being a prime ideal. So this will be finite integral domain, but finite integral domains are field. If it is a finite integral domain, this implies a field. Finite integral domain is a field, then this structure is a field, but this structure is field if and only if the ideal is maximal. So every prime ideal will become a maximal. So you do not need to count prime ideals separately, you just count the maximal ideals. And how many maximal ideals are there? As many distinct prime divisors are there, because other than these ideals there will be no maximal ideal, that you can easily observe. If you choose any other ideal, that must be contained in some proper ideal. So how many distinct divisors, prime divisors are there? 3 and 5. So number of prime ideals are 2. So your x will be 2. Let's count y. Y is number of non-trivial units. Non-trivial units means you have to remove one element. That is the 1. So y is number of non-trivial units of z2 to 5. That is nothing but phi 2 to 5 minus 1. Because if you collect all the units of any ring, that will form a group. And in Zn, the group of unit is isomorphic to u of 2 to 5, and the order of u 2 to 5 is phi of 2 to 5. And you are removing one, that is you are removing the trivial unit. So you will get that, you can count. This is 3 square, 5 square, 2 by 3, 4 by 5 minus 1. So you will get this 3 will get cancelled out with this. So you will be having 3 into 5 into 8 minus 1. So you will have 119. So 119 is y. They are asking the sum of x and y. The sum will be 119 plus 2, that will give you 121. So answer will be 121 here. Let's come to the question number 4. Let I and j be ideal generated by, this is a nice question for me. Hope it is nice for you also. This is generated by 5 comma square root of 10, j which is generated by 4 comma square root of 10. See, let me write the definition for the generating side, because many people get confused in the definition of generating side. Generating side means you take 5 into any arbitrary element of ring, and the ring is z root 10 here. Your R is z root 10, and this is nothing but, let me give you, this is not of your use, but I can tell you. Suppose if your number field is q square root of 10, here your 10 is congruent to 2 mod 4, so its ring of integers will be z root 10. This is the ring of integers of this number field, and this is nothing but a real quadratic field, because its degree of extension is 2, or you can say the dimension of this q square root of 10 over q is 2. So this is a real quadratic field, and this is the ring of integers of real quadratic field. Now the generating side, you can write 5 into, your ring is z square bracket square root of 10, so it will be a plus b square root of 10 plus square root of 10 c plus d square root of 10. This is the generating side, and similar you can write here 4 times some arbitrary element of this ring plus square root of 10 plus some arbitrary element of this structure. More precisely, you can write in this manner. So this is the complete definition of this I. They are asking about the maximality and prime idealness for this I and j. See, this j I can clearly see this is not a maximal ideal, because I have directly an ideal which is generated by 2 comma square root of 10. This contains this properly, that you can see. So this j is not a maximal ideal. Let us see the options. Option A, both I and j are maximal, A false. Option C, okay, only one option has been discarded by using this criteria. Now let's see how this I, observe this, a nice homomorphism I am defining from what is a nice homomorphism in your mind, which you can send by this to create this I as a kernel or this J as a kernel? What is a nice mapping? See here, let's observe the definition of I properly. This will be 5a plus 5 root 10 and it will be root 10c plus d10. So you can say this is 5a plus d10 plus this is 5b root 10 plus root 10c. So you can write 5 plus c square root of 10, where a, b, this should be 5b, a, b, c, d belongs to z. So I have this. This is nothing but a plus 2d plus 5b plus c square root of 10, a, b, c, d belongs to z. So from here you can see this I structure is nothing but 5a plus root 10b, where ab belongs to z. See, this step is a very crucial step. See, this a and d, these two are integers. These are arbitrary integers, and 2 and 1 are relatively prime. So they are linear combination. You are writing the linear combination of 1 and 2. So these are with GCD1. So every element you can write uniquely, or what I mean to say, this z can be generated by 1, 2 element in the integer linear combination, because they have GCD1. Similar argument here, this 1 and 5 can generate whole z uniquely. Okay, but uniqueness I cannot claim here, because for writing 2 you can write 0 into 1 plus 2 into something. Okay, remove the uniqueness, because 1 can also generate this z. So what I mean to say, this a plus 2d linear combination can generate whole of your z, because you can choose your d to be 0 and a is running over z. So this can generate whole z. So I am writing 5a where a is coming from z. So sorry for the wrong comment. Similar argument here, 5b plus c can generate whole of your z. So I can write 5a plus root 10b where ab are coming from z. You can also use for this section. Now I need to find a homomorphism for which this I works as a kernel. This will be z5 and I will be sending at a mod 5. And clearly this is a nice onto ring homomorphism. So for verifying ring homomorphism, that is your work. You may need one or two more properties. Those are, this modulo operator is additive and modulo operator is multiplicative. Modulo operator is additive and modulo operator is multiplicative. Without using those two facts, you cannot prove that this is a ring homomorphism. So this is an onto ring homomorphism. Ontoness is easy. So you can also verify your kernel of f is I, because a mod 5 will be 0. That means this a is a multiple of 5, or this 5 divides a. So that will give you whole this I. So you can write this z square root of 10, because this is an onto ring homomorphism. So this is isomorphic to a field, because z5 is a field. So this I has to be a maximal ideal. So this I is a maximal, J is not a maximal ideal. So Option A, both I and J are maximal, false. Option B, I is maximal ideal but J is not a prime ideal. So this we have not proved it till now. Option C, I is not a maximal but J is a prime ideal, but I is a maximal. So C false. Option D, neither I nor J is maximal. So D false. So if possible, only B option can be correct. Now we need to prove that this J is either prime or not. We have to work for that. Similar mapping I have defined. Can we define in this manner? But for that you need to write the expression for J in a suitable manner. You have to make that suitable. So you can define this homomorphism. This is an onto nice ring homomorphism. This will give you by using the first isomorphism theorem. This domain ring quotient with kernel is isomorphic to the image, but the mapping is onto, so your image will become whole codomain. So this is this, but this is not an integral domain. If this is not an integral domain, this cannot be a prime ideal. So J is not a prime ideal. So option B, I is maximal but J is not prime, is the correct one. Question number 5. This is a little लॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम. अगर ये आपको एग्जाम में स्ट्राइक करी तो ठीक है, अदरवाइज आंसर गलत होने के बहुत चांसेस हैं. लेट क्यू के इज इक्वल टू थ्री प्लस टू स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ टू कॉमा ओमेगा. ओमेगा इज द थर्ड प्रिमिटिव रूट ऑफ यूनिटी. Primitive root of unity, that means its order is 3 in the complex group or non-zero complex group. So its order is 3, not 1, because you are having 3 third roots of unity, 1 omega and omega square. Omega and omega square are primitive roots of unity, but 1 is not a primitive root of unity because order of 1 is 1, not 3. So if we say primitive nth roots of unities, that means you are looking for those elements whose order is n exactly. So this is your number field. Number field is a standard name for this structure. You need to find the degree of this extension over Q. You can use primitive element theorem if you have studied. But if you are not aware of the primitive element theorem will give you this criteria. This is generated by or adjoint with two elements. The primitive element theorem will assure you this can also be written as Q theta for some theta. That means you can remove two adjoints and you can use one adjoint. So this is by using the primitive element theorem, and there is a nice way to find this theta also, but that may be little lengthy in examination hall. So what can you do here? You can do one thing. Can I write this? We need to find the degree. So Q adjoint 3 plus 2 square root of 2 comma omega Q square root of 3 plus 2 square root of 2 comma omega. पहले आप इसको रेस्ट्रिक्ट करो. Q omega and Q adjoint omega over Q. This is the notation for the degree of, okay, let me write here Q. This is the degree of this extension over Q is same as degree of this extension over this structure and degree of this structure over this Q structure. Now this question is little easy because you have to observe this square root of 3 plus 2 root 2. You can see this 3 plus 2 root 2 is same as 1 plus root 2. That you can verify. How? Because if you choose 1 plus root 2 ka whole square, then you will have 1 plus 2 plus 2 root 2. So this will be 3 plus 2 root 2. If you take the square root, you will have a square root of 3 plus 2 root 2 is same as 1 plus root 2. So this is nothing but Q adjoint 1 plus root 2 omega over Q omega. So this Q omega is already present in Q omega, so you do not need to find this omega. If you find the minimal polynomial for this and the degree of minimal polynomial, then you have found the degree of this extension. So the minimal polynomial, you can see the degree of minimal polynomial will be 2 here, because 1 plus root 2 you can write x, then you will have x minus 1 whole square is equal to 2. So you will having x square plus 1 minus 2x is equal to 2. So you will have x square minus 1 or minus 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. Or if you remove this, so this is the minimal polynomial of 1 plus root 2 element over the field Q. This is the notation I am using and I am adapting from the Mitfute book. So this is the minimal polynomial for this 1 plus root 2 over for this over this, because you do not need to find the minimal polynomial for omega, because omega is already available here. So for generating this you need degree 2, or you need 2 elements in the basis. The basis you can write 1 comma root 2 here, and this basis is working over Q omega structure, not over Q. This basis is working over Q omega structure. Either you can write this or you can use this also, root 2 plus 1. So both will work like a basis. And what will be the basis here? The basis here will be 1 comma omega, and the degree of extension is 2. So the degree of extension is 2 here into 2, that will give you 4. How the degree of extension is 2 here? You know omega q minus 1 barabar 0. You can write as x minus 1 plus omega plus omega square is 0. See, omega is a third primitive root of unity, so it cannot be 1. So this will force you 1 plus omega square is equal to 0, or you can say x square plus x plus 1 is the minimal polynomial for q omega over the field Q. And one more thing, you can write here q omega, not q, because this minimal polynomial you are finding over this structure. So the degree of minimal polynomial is 2, so that is why I multiplied with 2. That assures that the degree of extension is 2 here. So the degree of extension of this structure is 4. So answer will be 4. Let's solve the last question, question number 6. Let G be a non-cyclic group of order 57, the number of elements of order 3 in G. So we have given order of G is 57. Let me write here possible order, number of elements, number of subgroups, and normal. This table I always create in my theory lectures. Possible order, you know the Lagrange theorem, order of element divides order of group. So order is 57, you can write 3 into 19. So possible order will be 1, 3, 19, 57. These are the possible divisors. We have given G is a non-cyclic group. If it is non-cyclic, there will not be any element of order 57. So no element of this. Identity element is always unique, and order 1 के subgroup हमेशा unique, and identity is always normal. Now we need to count number of elements of order 3 in G. If you can use the Silo theorems. So by using Silo, see, order of 19 SSG. Order of 19 SSG will be 19 because the largest power of 19 is 1, that divides this 57. So 19 power 1 divides this, 19 power 2 does not divide. So order of 19 SSG, that is the order of maximal 19 subgroup. So this is 19. Possible number of 19 SSG, this will be 1 plus 19k, such that 1 plus 19k divides 3 into 19 for some k. So this is by using the application of Solo's theorem. See, this 1 plus 19k will never divide this 19 structure unless k is 0. So that has to divide 3. So I can either it divides this or you can remove this also. That will not create any problem. So this 1 plus 19k divides 3. But that is only possible when your k value is 0. Otherwise it is not possible. Otherwise it will exceed 3. So your k value will be 0. So the possible chance is 1. So number of 19 SSG will be 1. तो अगर आपके पास 19 SSG 1 है, 19 is a prime and every subgroup of prime order is cyclic. So this 19 order subgroup will be a cyclic and all the elements will be of order 19 except the identity one. So how many elements will be there? Exactly 18. Exactly 18 elements will be there. Number of subgroup, you are getting a unique subgroup. And we know that PSSG is unique if and only if it is normal. So this will be normal. And you can also say if there is a unique subgroup of any particular order, that has to be normal. So that is a basic group theory. We have already proved in theory lectures. Now you are having total 57 elements. You are having 18 elements of order 19, 1 element of order 1. So remaining elements will be of order 13, order 3. So that will be 57 minus 19, that is 18 plus 1. So you will be having this will be 38, I guess. And how many subgroups will be there? Every group of order 3 is cyclic because 3 is a prime. So number of cyclic subgroup of order 3 will be total number of elements divided with 5 or 3. Because when you generate any subgroup, you use 2 elements of order 3. And you are having 38 elements, so you can create 19 subgroups of order 3. Or you can write 38 divided with 5 of 3. And this is the order of 3 SSG. So you can see there are 19 subgroups of order 3 or there are 19 3 SSG. But PSSG is unique if and only if it is normal. So there are not unique subgroup, so it is not normal. And there will be a one subgroup of order 57 and group in itself is always normal. So 3 SSG is not normal, rest all are normals. So there are 19 elements of order 3. And for there are 18 elements of order 19. So hope you understand each and every problem. अगर आपको किसी भी क्वेश्चन में प्रॉब्लम है तो आप एक बार उसकी थ्योरी अच्छे से पढ़िए, उसके बाद दोबारा खुद से ट्राई कीजिए. अगर फिर भी प्रॉब्लम हो रही है तो वीडियो को आप दोबारा फॉलो कर सकते हैं. एंड उसके अलावा if you have any suggestion for us, you are always welcome. And thanks for watching this solution series. And if you want to download the PDFs of these papers that you can get in our application, that is the Mathematical Pathshala, which is available on Google Play Store. In the store section you will get a GATE course, and on that you will get the previous year solutions in video format and in the assignment in PDF format. Thanks for watching this lecture.